Okay, so one of the hardest parts is transitioning everything I've learned and experienced back into my daily life, or back into my reality, and actually applying what I've learned and just being able to stay in contact with people who I met at the center or who I met um, within the program. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to be able to take something so undescribable, especially the feelings, the emotions. You can only tell someone so much about an experience. Be able to come home and take all these extraordinary things and just incorporate them into your everyday kind of day-to-day routine. So, one of the biggest things that I think I brought home with me is um, the power of love and the power of being there for people and the ability to have an impact on a person's life and eventually have an impact on the world through love. And unfortunately, since I've been home, I have attended two funerals. One was of a 21-year-old young man who was in a tragic car accident, and you just see this huge community come together and provide so much love and support for this family in such a horrible, horrible time. And no, it didn't fix anything. It didn't bring the young man back, but it's just an overwhelming amount of support and love that kind of just keeps him going, you know. So it was horrible. It was absolutely devastating, but it was beautiful to be able to see a community come together and get behind them and support them and just share so much love. There were so many faces I haven't seen in such a long time, and everyone was just there with their love and support. Everyone was there with a good heart. Everyone would drop anything and do anything for this family. And it was just so incredible to see how powerful this love really was. The second funeral I attended was for a 17-year-old boy, a friend of my brother's, who died of bone cancer. So, I mean, there is a little bit more preparation for a death like this. Doesn't make it any easier, doesn't make it okay nonetheless, but attended that funeral, and again, it was the power of love, the power of friendship that just kept this boy going each day. And he was so worried about his friends and his family, and I know my brother said he had one of the biggest hearts, and that's kind of what kept him moving forward over the past year and a half that he was sick. So it's been a rough couple of weeks, but you know, I've learned so much about being there for people and sharing love, and that's the way that you start to, you know, impact people's lives and change people's lives. So, I mean, just everything I've learned in Rome and from JNRC, it's about love and being present and kind of appreciating life. And obviously I've learned that lesson again quickly, being able to appreciate life and appreciate what you have and who you surround yourself with and the power of love. And then of course recently there were shootings against two young black men, or one was older, one was younger, and there was just uproar on social media about Black Lives Matter and just the senseless acts of hate, and it just again gets you thinking, why do these things have to happen in order for us to open our eyes and decide to love instead of hate? And it shows you how powerful hate is as well. And then to reverse that, the police shooting in Dallas where 5 officers were killed. Again, just people are shooting off rifles in the streets. Like, I would like to know how you wake up in the morning and think, this is the day I'm going to open fire on a crowd of people. Like, that takes so much hate in a person's heart to do that it just absolutely blows my mind. So there's been so many instances of just pure hate, just absolute unauthorized hate. And then I have seen such beautiful instances of pure love, and kind of just blows my mind about how powerful each can be and what good and what harm they can bring. And if people just learn to open their hearts and open their minds and just experience things for what they're worth, and, you know, stop hating this and hating that, or being pro this or pro that. Like, we as a country need to obviously get our shit together and come together and realize that if you take the time to say hi to a person and talk to a person and ask them how their day is, simply just small acts of kindness or small acts of love, then that means there's less hate. Like, maybe you're not gonna stop someone from a senseless act of hate, but you don't know that. You don't know that a simple acknowledgement of a person is going to change their mind or make their day. I mean, it is kind of an extreme, but at the same time, you never know. Love can be a powerful thing, and hate can have such horrible consequences that it's much, much better to love than to hate, and to try to understand and to put yourself out there and understand that life is such a valuable, valuable gift, and to make sure that you are putting the good in the world, not the bad, not the hate. You're spreading the love. You're not encouraging the violent acts or encouraging the hate or adding to it. I also had the time to read a book called Love Does, and it's by Bob Goff. And what it is well, first of all, when we were in Rome, I found a new sense of spirituality. I was raised Catholic. I'm not really practicing Catholic now, but I mean, I knew a fairly good amount about my religion, so kind of just expanded on that. And then Love Does is about this man, Bob Goff. He's had a pretty crazy life. He's a very adventurous, outgoing person, type of person who always says yes, very, very always got his taking, I don't know, steps in the right direction, I don't know. Open to adventure, open to opportunity. He actually reminded me a lot of Sean, so it was actually very fun to read and kind of do that comparison. But he wrote this book called Love Does, and it's just explaining how you can love someone with words, and you can tell them you care about them, but in the end, the ultimate lesson was that love is about doing, and love is about sharing and being there for people, and just being there for people in their time of need, or being there for support. And I thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautifully written book about being able to share moments and share experiences with people and how it brings you together. And there was a little bit of incorporation with Jesus and God, and how he kind of learned about Jesus. And it was actually an amazing book. I recommend it to everyone, but kind of just continue to go along with the lines of love over hate and being able to be there for someone. And like I said, life gets hard, life gets busy. I've been home for 2 weeks, and it feels like Rome has been a dream, far distant dream, which is sad, but it's easy to lose contact with people. It's easy to forget to text someone back or message them back or bail on a plan. But just the end thing is that love does. If you're going to show a person that you love them, then you're going to contact them. You're going to be there. You're going to take an active effort to be in their lives and support them and encourage them. And it's just such a good reminder about how, yeah, I've met these wonderful people across the world, and I could stay in touch, and if I really want to, like, yeah, I probably could, but it's just about doing it. It's just about taking the incentive, taking the initiative, and doing it. Doing love, essentially. So, busy couple of weeks, but I mean, it's nice to be home. I miss waking up and seeing Rome out my window, but it was just a crazy couple of weeks, and there's just so much social media about hate and love, and just I think everything I've learned has been so applicable. And you think, oh, okay, I learned all these great things, like I said, and you don't know how to apply them or when you're gonna need them, and it's like, oh wow, who would have thought you need them in your everyday life? So, I mean, I'm happy it transitioned the way it did, and I'm so glad that I had the experience that I did. But it's just hard to be that same person.